watching Sunday Sound Off with Frank Boal.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Sunday Sound Off, where you get a chance to join the conversation on everything sports. Tweet us your questions and comments using the hashtag Sunday Sound Off. Let's introduce tonight's panel. In the captain's chair, Kansas City Stars Hall of Famer Blair Kirchhoff. How are you, Blair?
I am great, Frank. Or it's the captain's chair. It's also the Soren chair, so I got to give you the requisite Villanova grief. They're going to lose this week to Xavier.
Doggone it.
They are. They're going to lose. They're going to lose this week.
All right.
Loser number one.
TJ, how you doing tonight? Sports Radio 810. Sports Night Blair just took me right out of my game there. Poor Villanova. What'd they do to anybody? Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Frank. I feel bad for Villanova and for you
No,
now.
you
Blair
don't.
had to just ruin the whole night for everybody.
No, he didn't. And, of course, on the far side, you see him on 38 The Spot. You hear him every morning on a Border Patrol at 810 WHB, Stephen St. John. Stephen, how are you?
Where's Lezak?
Hopefully he's not here.
He's never here when I'm here. I don't understand.
I know, because then we wouldn't get a word in edgewise, any
Right.
of us. Gentlemen, our hot topics of the evening: MU's no more boycotts threat, KSU's how to cheer controversy, and number 3 is Jared Allen, Hall of Fame worthy. We'll get to those in a minute, but first, to our question of the week: what is the future of the Big 12? A lot of saber rattling about expansion or no expansion or even folding up shop. Blair, where are we with this situation? We hear it all the time.
Yeah, we do. And we've heard a lot lately because of the Oklahoma president, David Boren. The Big 12 is supposed to be speaking with one voice, is what I've heard, and apparently that voice is David Boren, the Oklahoma coach, or the president of Oklahoma. Look, here's the thing about the Big 12. They've got some decisions to make, and Boren's not wrong when he says that they need to talk about a football playoff game, a television network, and, of course, expansion. But keep this in mind. There is no team that the Big 12 can get, or two teams, that will raise the value of the league. If the Big 12 or the Big 12 goes to 12 teams from 10 to 12, those 12 teams, the existing 10, the original 10, would get less money per year from their media contracts. So that's an issue that the Big 12 leaders have to discuss. I think we're going to get some answers at the spring meetings in May and early June in Dallas.
It's going to be interesting, I'll tell you that. TJ, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with everything that Blair just said, but I will also say this. Not only is there no team that they can add that will increase the value of the conference, there is no team that they can add that will decrease the unwillingness of Texas to not play with anybody. They don't agree with anybody on anything. They're not in the business of saving the Big 12. And ultimately, because Texas is in the business of doing good things that are good for Texas, ultimately the Big 12 will fold in its current form. I think it may be around in some form or another later on down the road. But the second that Texas or Oklahoma realizes that they cannot see eye to eye on some sort of amicable solution for how TV contract money is divvied up, how all the other things are structured, how third-tier rights are divvied out, and how to make this thing a lucrative financial success for all of the teams in the Big 12, the same way the SEC has, the Big 10 has, the Pac-12 has, and the ACC has. Eventually the Big 12 will fold because the smaller teams in the conference are going to wise up and realize that the second OU or Texas moves first, they're in deep trouble. Outside of Kansas, who has an excellent basketball program and can go to the Big 10 now if they want. Everybody else, they better start looking elsewhere because you better not get beat to the punch by Texas or Oklahoma.
Stephen, what do you think? This all started with, Colorado, Nebraska, and then Missouri, everybody defecting to other places.
Yeah, I was going to say, all these problems with the Big 12 really makes a team want to go to the SEC. Who knows? Maybe bring Nebraska back. That's a perfect match. Look, there's the teams that are out there: Houston, BYU, Cincinnati, Memphis. I mean, what excites you? I mean, Houston's got a good football program and, basketball coached by Kelvin Sampson. But the Big 12 already has that footprint in Texas. And will they cannibalize themselves by adding Houston? Will that hurt recruiting in Texas with the other schools? That was a fear before they brought in TCU. And TCU, I mean, they're a better football program than Texas right now. So, Texas doesn't want any more competition down in Texas in the Big 12. I think they missed the boat with Louisville. I think that would have been a perfect addition as far as Big 12 expansion. I kind of like Memphis. Not a lot of people do as far as the addition. I think that Cincinnati makes sense. Not a big fan of adding BYU, although how about those BYU West Virginia road trips? Those would be fantastic for the kids, wouldn't it?
Up next, our hot topics. You're watching Sunday Sound Off.